It is one of the most bizarre medical mysteries in recent memory, and doctors still can't explain it. It happened 2 weeks ago in a Southern California emergency room. A team of medical workers collapsed, apparently after inhaling fumes coming from the body of a dying woman.
It was pandemonium at Riverside General Hospital last Saturday night after a medical team was overcome by fumes which rose from the blood of a dying patient.
On February 19, 1994, a 34-year-old woman by the name of Gloria Ramirez was rushed into Riverside General Hospital in California. She was taken in as she had been suffering from the effects of advanced cervical cancer. Once she was taken in, the hospital staff began treating her and some bizarre events began to take place. The hospital staff administered several sedation medications, but Ramirez was responding poorly to the treatment. The staff tried to defibrillate her heart, and at this point, several people saw an oily substance covering Ramirez's body, and a fruity garlic-like odor started emitting from her mouth. A registered nurse by the name of Susan Kane attempted to draw blood from Ramirez's arm and noticed an ammonia-like smell coming from the tube. She then passed a tube of blood to a medical resident who noticed sand-colored particles floating in the blood. After being told of this and seeing the particles, Kane fainted and was removed from the room.
I asked the nurse to start an IV that about coincidentally at the same time I smelled, ammonia. To me it was ammonia. And I kind of made a comment that, that's really strong ammonia. And I kind of felt, like I was going to pass out then. So I moved around to the other side of the bed to get away from the fumes. In retrospect, which I shouldn't have done, I smelled the blood, and a few seconds later I wasn't feeling good myself, and just remember waking up being helped to be breathed with a mask.
3 more of the medical staff fainted and one had to be rushed to the intensive care unit. After people began dropping like flies, the staff was ordered to evacuate all emergency department patients to the parking lot outside the hospital. Overall, 23 people became ill and 5 were hospitalized. They had experienced symptoms such as shortness of breath and muscle spasms.
The gal that was drawing my blood, she couldn't get the blood out. I'm thinking that's unusual. She tries again. She's, pulling back on the syringe. She's like, can't get any blood out. And then she kind of just plays with the needle, kind of spins it around. And all of a sudden she gets, a couple cc's or so of blood. And she's looking at the syringe, and she looks and she sees, little flakes, little particulate matter. And she's never seen this before, and she showed it to me. She's like, look what's in your blood. Does this look like the crystals you saw in the ER? They were scared.
A small amount of hospital staff stayed behind to stabilize Ramirez. At 8:50 p.m. after 45 minutes of CPR and defibrillation, Ramirez was pronounced dead from kidney failure related to her cancer.
Construction began 2 days ago on a special airtight dome within the coroner's building. This is where the autopsy will be performed. The dome will be lined in plastic with all heating and air conditioning ducts sealed.
The autopsy took place at 1 o'clock in the morning on February the 25th, 6 days after the incident.
For the autopsy, which took place at the Riverside County Coroner's Office, a special chamber was constructed so the 4 men dealing with the body would be sealed off from the rest of the world. They wore hazmat suits and oxygen was pumped to the autopsy workers through cords attached.
It's straight out of...
2 months after Ramirez died, her badly decomposed body was released for an independent autopsy and burial. The Ramirez family pathologist was unable to determine a cause of death because her heart was missing and her organs were cross-contaminated with fecal matter and her body was too badly decomposed. On April 20th, 1994, 10 weeks after her death, Ramirez was buried at Olivewood Memorial Park in Riverside, California.
Despite the drama,
there have been many theories as to what happened on the February day of 1994. Why did the staff start passing out? Why was there indications of foul play when it came to the time of the autopsy? There have been many theories such as a chemical reaction caused poisonous emissions to be released from Gloria, and other theories claim a meth lab was in the works at the hospital, while other theories state it was a case of mass hysteria. Firstly, we will take a look at the scientific theory that was put forward. An investigation by Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory proposed that Ramirez had been self-administering dimethyl sulfoxide as treatment for pain. Dimethyl sulfoxide is often used in alternative medicine as a topical painkiller and as a medium for other substances because it passes through skin and membranes really well. It was theorized that Gloria's body failed to eliminate the substance as she may have been using too much, and therefore once her hospital staff began treating her, a chemical reaction occurred after being administered drugs.
Livermore suggested, Agent.
This theory is a matter of debate in the scientific community. Mass hysteria is the rapid spread of illness, signs and symptoms affecting members of a cohesive group, originating from nervous system disturbance involving excitation, loss or alteration of function, with no real medical reason or purpose behind the symptoms. The earliest studied cases linked with epidemic hysteria are the dancing manias of the Middle Ages. Dancing mania, also known as the dancing plague, was a social phenomenon that occurred in mainland Europe between the 14th and 17th centuries. It involved groups of people dancing erratically, sometimes thousands at a time. The mania affected men, women and children who danced until they collapsed of exhaustion. This was just one example of mass hysteria. After the New Times Los Angeles newspaper carried out an investigation that concluded that there was a cover-up to hide a secret meth lab in the hospital. Much like how in Breaking Bad, Walter White stole equipment from the school to cook meth with, their investigation claimed people at the hospital were using hospital equipment to cook meth. Riverside, California is a reported hotspot area for meth production. The newspaper's investigation claimed the fumes probably came instead from chemicals used to make the drug methamphetamine, and that someone in the hospital may have been illegally manufacturing it or a component of it near the time of Ramirez's death. The investigation claimed that meth chemicals may have been smuggled out of the hospital in IV bags and that one of the bags may have been accidentally injected into Ramirez. This would explain the foul play during the autopsy as to why her body was forced to decompose quickly so the family couldn't test her body for foreign contaminants. This theory, much like the others, hasn't been proven to be true. Gloria Ramirez became known as the Toxic Lady and the Fuming Woman in the media. Her mysterious case has never officially been solved, although most subscribe to the scientific theory. Ramirez's family disagree with the scientific theory due to the foul play.
Her body.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with all our future videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.